Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast, and today's topic is this: kindergarten, life school. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Niko, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yep. All right, Dad. So at the time of this recording, my son has started kindergarten about 8 weeks ago. About that. He's been in it for a number of weeks, and he is learning a ton. Learning a ton of ABCs and letters and all that good educational stuff, like academic stuff, I should say. But he's learning a ton of life school stuff as well, and it's been hard. I think he's flexing really well with it. There's a huge difference between, say, these last couple weeks and how he's dealing with a couple things that I'm going to share with you versus how it was at the beginning. But it's still really tough, and part of why I'm sharing this with you is sharing my experience of being his dad and what comes up for me. So specifically, kindergarten's long. He's in 5 days a week. It's full days, 8 until 2:20 in the afternoon. And he was only used to going to preschool 2 mornings a week last year, and we didn't do anything over the summer. We were just really taking advantage before school lifestyle started, and it was a big transition. He's not used to those long days. He's tired. He's frazzled from the long days, all that good stuff, which is normal. And some people have said, like, well, maybe you should have done 5 days a week beforehand during the summer, and then he could have been used to it, or a preschool. And I hear all of that for sure. I just think going from whatever schedule he was doing to ramping up to 5 days is going to be the transition. And his mom and I decided we didn't want to do that transition during the summer. We wanted to enjoy it. And so, yes, we would have loved for the transition to happen beforehand and not go through it now, but that's what is. And so one of the things that we've been learning on days when we pick him up is to just not have anything else go on. No other activities, no other, obligations, just having like downtime and making sure he's eating. And we've seen him like learning about like having snacks making a difference. So if he's doesn't eat his whole lunch because he's busy and going, make sure we feed him up, downtime, resting, give him free time to do things, because I've noticed a lot of kind of the life school stuff that he's learning. One is like how to handle like being tired, and that's not something he's working on necessarily. Like, we're helping him in that way. But one of the things that there's been a lot of kickback with in a different way since he started is he's so being told what to do all day long at school and not being bossed around necessarily, because he's in school and the teacher's like, all right, now we're going to go do this, and now we do this, and now go to lunch, and now do this. He's on somebody else's schedule. And so then when he's at home with me, a lot of the pushback is like, you're always bossing me around, like, you're always telling me what to do, I don't have any free time, and the like. And it's not true, and at the same time, that's how he feels. So I've been trying to help him with that, around not trying to argue with him that I'm not bossing you around, I'm just, keeping the show on the road and blah, 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 those kind of things. It's just really kind of acknowledging, like, all right, he's fried, and we're going to take as much off of the plate, and, partly trying to help him understand that, okay, like, this is a new phase of things. You're going to get used to it. It's going to get better. And especially when he's in those dark moments, that rationale does not help. But the other life school thing that's been quite a surprise for me is the teasing. He was getting teased a lot when he first started school, and I figured out that some of the teasing wasn't really teasing, that one of the girls kind of had a little crush on him and was following him around, and that wasn't teasing. He was just bothered by it, and that settled. And then some of the other, quote, teasing stuff really was just more of kind of rough play on the playground and kids not understanding, keeping your hands to yourself and not pushing people around and stuff, and that's helped as well. But my kid, being a sensitive kid and an empath, like, it was really hard for him. And in one instance, he told us that he'd been punched by a girl in the stomach, and that it hurt so much that he couldn't tell the teacher about it. And really, I think he was embarrassed, or he didn't want anybody to get in trouble, or he thought maybe he'd get in trouble or something, and that's why he didn't tell the teacher. And we communicated with the teacher, and but so as a dad, with all of those things, but even specifically with like the punch, there was definitely part of me that's like, let me know her name, I'll take care of it. Like, well, I'll do drop off tomorrow, and make sure she doesn't ever do that again to you. And like, I was gonna solve the problem for it. I mean, that rose up in me, and I wanted to, and my protector, and making it okay for my son and everything. But there's just a ton of problems with that. Like, one, me going onto the playground and intimidating another 5-year-old kindergartner. Not the best move, right? Not the best move. And it's not going to solve the issue, except for that temporarily, where like she might be, if this is actually happening the way it's described, that she might back off because she was scared of an adult, but Niko didn't handle it himself. So either it's going to start happening again later on when she forgets about that incident, or it's going to happen from some other kid. And Niko needs to learn how to deal with that himself. And believe me, dads, I was not going to go and intimidate a child. It was just my first instinct was like, oh my gosh, like, this can't happen again. Like, let me know who that's going to be. So I worked with Niko on, okay, well, what do you do if that happens again? And you need to like yell, stop it, that hurts me, don't do that, and tell the teacher. Or if somebody's following around or teasing you, you say with your words first that you don't like it, and that to stop it, and you repeat that again. And if they don't, you tell the teacher. And we really didn't get to the point about him sticking up for himself in a physical way. I have a challenge with that because I don't want him to be like just punching back like right away. And at the same time, I do believe there's a time and a place for him to stick up for himself if somebody's bullying him. And I don't think the kindergarten playground is really this phase of that. That might be coming in a couple years, who knows. But I definitely think that would be appropriate if it's still happening, and him sticking up for himself in a physical way. But we want to try everything else first, beforehand, obviously, with words and with getting adults involved and the like. But with all of these life school situations, I just honestly, with the fatigue, I thought that was going to be part of the drill for kindergarten for sure. But with these other things, the teasing, I did not think that these kind of conversations were going to be happening in kindergarten. But they are. And there's part of me that would honestly love for those conversations to never happen, or for them to happen later in life. But it is what it is. It's happening now. And so if we teach him now and allow him to navigate it now, then he'll be prepared for when it's coming later on, and it won't happen in the same way, because there's always going to be a first time that he's going to deal with these things. And whether he's in public school or like he is, or private school or homeschooling, this is just life. And unfortunately, it's a part of life, and it's going to happen either on the soccer team or on the playground or in a class that he's taking or in the neighborhood with kids that are around. It's just part of learning. And so with this life school, it's very, very present for me about how this next phase of life for my son is it is beyond my control in that, I mean, he's gone on school for 5 days a week and a majority with interacting with all these kids and all this new stuff. And I'm not watching it happen to see and kind of steer him away from things if it's starting to happen. It's something after the fact I find out about it, and there's probably lots going on that I don't know about because he doesn't talk about it, that kind of typical thing of coming home from school. How was your day at school? Fine. What'd you do? Nothing, So for you dads, like finding your kids in a situation where it'd be easiest in the short term to handle it yourself for them, think that it might be better, and I'm gonna argue that it is better to, instead of solving it for them, to help guide them through them solving it themselves. Somebody said to me, like, if you can think of, specifically to me, parenting my boy, if you can think of yourself raising a man rather than raising a boy, it can put a perspective into your brain around, okay, like how would he handle this on his own when he's all grown up? And if you have a daughter, like think of raising a woman rather than raising a girl, right? Like they are little people now, depending on where your kids are at. They're little people now, but they're gonna be adults, and we're trying to raise awesome men and women here. And it starts with these little things because they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're building a foundation. So I hope that speaks to you, and hope that can give a little perspective on like helping them problem solve, because they want to. They might be looking to you for guidance, and we might interpret that as looking to us to solve it for them. And they want to feel protected for sure. And we can offer protection and security in our strength and in our mentoring and our protective space we provide around them, and with the tools that we're teaching them to be able to handle themselves so they can be resilient and self-confident. And that's a huge gift to be able to give them that's going to translate. So that's what I'm learning in kindergarten. My kids learning in kindergarten. I'm learning as a dad having a kindergartner. So until the next time, guys, take good care of yourselves, take good care of your families, and we'll connect on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to that episode. Guess what? My dad just formed a new thing. It's called a Slack group.
What's that?
I don't know, but you can find more about it and join if you go to thedadhoodjourney.com. See you there. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.